This video has spoilers for Genshin Impact.
Hi, I'm Cannon, and recently I played through Genshin Impact, and,
Say it.
yeah, the game is fine. It's fine. Genshin Impact is a game that I recently had to play due to the amount of friends that play it and the fact that I am dating someone who is playing the game, you know, behind the camera right now. And as I can play it now, I can say that the game it's alright. It's definitely not the worst. If it was the only game I had to play for a while, I would sit down and play it. But it has aspects to it that kinda just, you're not gonna like it. And that can go for a lot of people. And it definitely does apply to me. And that's kinda what I wanna go with this video. Mostly because this is a new type of video for the channel. It's something I want to call a loose discussion, where I have no script whatsoever, and I kind of just begin to rant about these types of topics that I genuinely enjoy talking about. Games, art design, stuff like that, writing stories. Those are the types of things that I want to talk about. And without that explanation aside, I'll just get into the actual things that I want to talk about this game, because there is a lot of it. I did actually have a recording of this video before. I just threw that recording out because I realized that I have differing opinions now that I'm further into the game. So that is kind of why I'm redoing this video. It's mostly because my opinion has changed twice now, nearly 3 times. And it is something that I want to get across before I actually talk about the game, because Genshin Impact has probably the worst taste in my mouth of all the games that I played, you know, other than like Fortnite, because there's a lot of people that kept trying to get me to play the game, and I just got like bored of people doing that, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play that anymore. So I haven't touched that game, you know, maybe in a later video or something, I don't know. Fortnite Goku. The only thing I can say about my relationship with Genshin before I started playing it was that the community was ass. All I knew was that they really hated straight relationships. So for the rest of this video, instead of being a girl, my persona is now going to be a guy. And I have a girlfriend. So you can go fuck. So, story-wise, about Genshin. I'm not done with the story of Genshin, because no one is getting through the entire story of Genshin yet, mostly because, you know, I don't think it's done yet. I mean, I'm not the one that you should be asking if the story of Genshin is done, considering I just started playing it. I don't know if the story is done, or if it's not done. All I know is that this game takes you on the longest ride I've had in a video game. Keep in mind, I am the person that plays Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2, Battle for Neighborville, Minecraft.
These villagers have
So my opinion doesn't matter when it comes to storytelling, because, you know, none of these games are known for their story, especially Minecraft. But the story kind of starts with your your sibling getting kidnapped by this MILF that I forgot what her name was. And keep in mind, she doesn't come up ever again. I mean, there is someone that looks similar to her or is exactly her, but she is barely brought up after that you kind of forget that she exists, though she is actually important. And you kind of wake up on this shore, and you kind of get the synopsis of that you went fishing, you picked up this fairy. Why? And this fairy is called Paimon, and you may know her because people like bullying her a lot. You know, that one meme where people keep saying that they're food, that is an actual thing in the game. You can continuously go through the game telling people that they are food. and they will get upset about it. So hey, we can all be sadistic today, where we're calling our best friend food. You meet this girl, Amber. She's your first unlockable character, I think, unless you spend money, like very early on in the game. And you're introduced to this place called Mondstadt. Yeah, Mondstadt. And they are pretty much just worshiping this air god, air deity, air thing. And they introduce you to the topic of archons later on, which are just gods. That is something that does get interesting later on, especially, so I'll get into that. This is where we actually get into the gameplay. You pretty much touch this statue and you get anemo powers, anemo being wind, so you get a massive suck, and it's pretty fun. You can do some pretty cool shit with it, like if you use Amber, that character that you just get, and you use her basic attack and you charge it up, shoot it at the ground, and it starts fire, but only on grass, because you know we love logic, you can technically cause the wind to be set on fire, and you will now deal fire damage, or pyro in the game. I really like these interactions. These are like some small things that just makes the game for you, because it is just really fun. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, the amount of things that you can do in this game just with elements is kind of insane. Only a couple days ago, I recently found out that mixing pyro, which is fire, and electro, which is, yeah, you make the enemy enraged. I don't know what that does, but hey, it looks cool, so it must be doing something. And if you use Dendro, which is life, or whatever the fuck this is, if you hit someone with Dendro, and you hit them with water, they immediately get hit with a status effect called Bloom, which I don't know what it does either. If you hit someone with Dendro, and they get set on fire, they get dealt with a lot of damage, which is pretty funny. So later on, after you complete a lot of quests, take out this dragon, shoot its back out a lot of times, you get hit with a roadblock of being this certain adventure rank level. And the adventure rank levels are what we like to call grinding. And of course, all games are gonna have grinding in it in a way. You're not going to immediately have everything under control or on your plate immediately when the game starts. You have to grind for the later on rewards. But Genshin Impact has this layer of grinding that I've never seen in a video game, and it kinda gets messy in a way. I guess that's how I would say it. Basically, you need to be a certain adventure rank level to proceed and go to the next quest, aka the next story quest of the story that you want to play. So you start doing some quests, you start looking around the world for some chests, you commit arson on a couple, I don't know what these are, pigs, and after a while, you get kind of bored, because, you know, it's just a lot of grinding. You unlock the next story quest, and it just kind of blends in sometimes. Like you can tell that these are a part of the major story, because, you know, there's voice acting. And it's fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, these story quests are fun, but the grinds in between kinda turn you off, I guess is the way I can say it. You really start to enjoy the story and then start hating the grind to get there. However, that's just me, and that is just how I played the game. I've gotten to points where I needed to grind, and it has been annoying. Another aspect that does include grinding is world level, where your world will procedurally pretty much level up alongside you. So the more that you get stronger, the more everything else gets stronger with you. And this happens together with your adventure rank level, or AR level. And you need to do these quests to technically level up to the next world level, where they send you into this little dungeon and you need to pretty much kill all the enemies in there to level up your world. This dungeon is technically like a test. You get put in there and they pretty much give you the new levels of the enemies that you're going to be dealing with, and they tell you, go ahead, teach us if you can handle these guys. And if you can't, then they will just say you're not ready for the next world level and you will have to try the trial again. And it's that point where you have to grind a lot of things, like your character level, your weapon level, your artifact level, your traits, skills, talents levels. And I'm not gonna lie, after a while you kind of realize there's a lot of characters and you kind of just have to find which characters you really like using together, because that is kind of where the game comes from. You pretty much just mix a bunch of elements together and see which gets you the most DPS so that you can kill things fast enough.
Oh my god!
And I'm not gonna lie, it is fun. Like, it is fun to steamroll a bunch of enemies all at a time because you hit one button and then you went to another character, hit another button, and then watch the DPS just build up because you pressed 2 buttons. And it's really nice to look at. It's just, you know, I'm gonna sound like an actual child, but the way to get there kind of gets boring after a while. But that doesn't deter from the fact that the story of the game that they're trying to tell is good. Like, you can tell that they're actually trying to mix all these aspects of the different towns, worlds that you visit, and trying to mix it all into one coherent story of you just trying to find your sibling back. If you can't tell from the gameplay, but I actually chose to play as the girl. Not because I'm trans, but because I'm gender fluid. And technically, in this, you're looking for your brother. There's a lot of stuff that kind of can be thrown away, like some of the side quests that you don't really need to do. But, example, in Mondstadt, you will find these missing posters. And these missing posters are for looking for a blonde-haired kid who went missing. And the first time I saw these, I actually laughed at them because they're like, you know, missing kid. Missing kid. And then later on, when you get to, what is this? Leeway? I think that's how you say it. When you finish that area of the world, they ask you if you want to do anything else, and you ask if you can put up some missing posters. And that is kind of where the entire game just clicked to me, and it just made me realize, damn, they did in fact connect everything of this game together. And I can go on for like ages about good storytelling, like having this big expansive world all connected back into one story. It is amazing, and I love how Genshin actually pulls this off, because they pull it off in a way where you get distracted by so many different things. You get distracted by the side quests, by the story, the different characters that you get. The grinding, again, is painful, but you get rewarded heavily by the story. The story heavily compensates for basically what is hours of time that you're dropping into this game, or dollars that you're spending, and it genuinely becomes a nice story to get invested in. An example is just the fact that all the archons that are playable, because you can play as these godlike characters, when you check their talents, you actually see a constellation for every single character. And just for all the archons, or the gods, whatever the fuck, you already get what I'm saying, they all have an image of themselves, or a depiction of themselves in it. You will see this for every single Archon except for the normal playable characters, except for you. For some reason, you as the traveler, who apparently has never been here, has a portrait. You kind of left to wonder why, you know, you guys think about, you know, a little game theory about what's going on. You know, and all of this kind of just boils down to the last thing I want to discuss about Genshin.
Oh! I banged a fucking fart!
And it has nothing to do with the story, but it does have something to do with the gameplay. Because as you've seen, the clips that I'm showing, there are 4 characters on the right side. And you already know that with a big expansive world, with a lot of characters, and with a lot of people in it, if you see 4 characters in a party, there is bound to be a lot of bullshit that comes alongside it. So yes, Genshin also comes with the patent pending several friends in a party. And you can go around, do random business, and pretty much just mess around in a world, kill a bunch of stuff, drop like about 100,000 DPS. Just like how my friend Sleep puts it, it is basically the anime version of Dark Souls with a bunch of flashy lighting just so that you keep your attention to it. And I'm not gonna lie, multiplayer is actually kind of fun. I played multiplayer with a couple of my friends. I played it with Sleep, I played it with Snack, I played it with Empty, I played it with Kudu, which you've seen all these four in different videos. But I've also played with my friend Cass, I played it with my girlfriend. I'll play some of those clips that are going on right now. But these little games, these like little matches of just us going around the world and kicking the shit out of people, it is genuinely, and I'm not even exaggerating this, keep in mind I used to fucking hate this game, but like playing it now in multiplayer is actually kind of fun. It is genuinely the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game. It is only bested by Minecraft, where we just have a bunch of stupid shit like we're playing Gary's mod, but in cube form. And that is really where I want to leave it, technically. Genshin as a game is not bad. The story overall from where I am in, because right now I'm currently still in Inazuma, or Inazumi as my girlfriend decided to laugh at me for. Inazuma, it genuinely, noticing that the story has all connected, even when you're so many hours into the game, when you've already forgotten what the main story was, the fact that it all ties back in so well is kind of awe-inspiring, really. The grind in this game is definitely the most sour part of it. You definitely get blocked really hard in this game if you're not leveling up your characters consistently or grinding for upgrade materials. You will get stopped very, very often. And that is kind of a part of the game, really. Like, I can't even get mad at it because that is technically how these games are designed. I haven't played much of these games before. I don't have a part in actually doing any kind of criticism towards these types of games because I haven't played any. The only game that I played that is genuinely the closest to these types of games is Genshin. It is the only game I played that is remotely close to these types of games. And playing it now for the first time, it is genuinely enjoyable. So, yeah, giving Genshin a rating for whatever the hell this series is going to be, I'm going to give Genshin a solid 5 Primo Gems out of 10. Don't talk to me about playing Honkai Star Rail because I'm not getting into that game.